to y'all. I hope you woke up grateful for your day. I hope you reminded yourself of all the things to be grateful for. Let's not limit them to five. Um, I hope you guys are setting a high vibe. I hope you guys are pushing past any limitations that may arise. And I hope that, hey, you're evolving out of any obstacle that you might be faced with, using it as an opportunity to grow and learn. Learn more about yourself and learn more about what's happening outside of you. So I've sent Wendell an invite to join onto the live. Hey, Wendell, if you can hear me, refresh and jump on. I'm about to send you a message just to make sure here. Sorry, guys, I'm just letting him know that I sent him the invite so that he can jump on. All right, so look, I really hope you guys are getting the most out of your days. I hope that you're really, feeling a lot better than you have been, okay? And yesterday's live was muted again. There's a couple of lives that every time I get a little hearty, they get muted, okay? I can't download them and I can't share them. So I guess I got to tone it down on the lives, okay? And I guess I got to make sure that, yeah, I compose just a little bit better or present maybe just a little calmer. But that's okay. It's all for the learning, okay? Facebook spreads a lot of stuff, but hey, if they're muting me, there's a reason, I guess, eh? All right, Wendell's ready to jump on, so I'm going to get him on here this morning. Add him. There we go. Hey, great morning to you, Wendell.
Great morning to you. How you doing?
I'm doing great, actually. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Pretty
Good. Did
good.
you have a good day yesterday?
Yeah. Yesterday was pretty good. Um we were doing like a simulation of a day on the job, So and a lot of them were kind of getting it. So it was nice. It was good.
Nice.
So new class starting today. Same
Oh,
thing.
right on. Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
What's it
So
on?
well, it's pretty much the same thing that I just do. It's just like I just keep doing the same training over and over, which is
That's
good.
okay because
Yeah,
repetition is installation.
that's right.
So
That's right.
listen, yesterday's live, I don't know if you saw the comments, but the person that's commenting, Carmen Gibbons,
Okay.
that's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'd like you to go and check out the comments if you haven't seen them because she
Okay.
addresses your tingling. Okay.
Oh,
And she has many, many, many years of nursing behind her, like to
oh,
the point where, okay, just check out what she's telling you there if
okay.
you haven't seen the comments.
Will do. Thank you very much. And tell
All
her I
right.
said
And she also addresses uh, attracting certain women into your life. I love the support that she's giving us. Trust me.
okay.
And
Great.
she encourages me. And it's funny because you know what? She's one of my older cousins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I haven't seen her in a very, very long time.
Oh,
And
okay.
she's still, so I'm happy for that. And I'm happy that she's offering you some helpful hints.
Yeah. It is kind of funny though how because I mean I'm going through the whole thing too, right? It's like what do we call it? Like, I have a lot of cousins that I haven't seen in like 30, 40 years. And it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, but are you reconnecting with them?
Oh yeah, like I mean, I stay connected through them through Facebook, which is one thing that I love the best about Facebook is like how you can, stay connected with family members like that. Because I have family members all over Canada. I have a couple in States. I have a couple back home in Trinidad.
Well,
But yeah,
I'll tell you something, Wendell. I have 66 first cousins on my father's side, and
wow,
they all have children.
that's
So
nice.
that's just on my dad's side. I have family all over the world.
Uh, Okay.
Yeah. So
So I was meaning to ask you because sometimes I'm pretty good with what's I don't know how to say it, but it's like genetics with the last name. So based on based on what I think with your last name, are you like is your nationality like maybe German or some kind of British, Scottish?
no, no.
No.
You know what? I'm a mix. I would be a real mixed up mutt if no, really.
Full of
No,
fruit, a
seriously.
fruit salad.
Seriously. On my mom's side, it's Scottish and Irish.
Oh,
On my
okay.
dad's side, it's French Canadian, and there was a myth about having native blood somewhere in our lineage, but I
Ooh,
don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I've been estranged from my Staples family for a long time, and yeah. But you know what? I wanted to just, I don't know if you, I hope you don't mind, but I have to make some things clear to a couple of people because a couple of people keep hearing that I stress that I went through a situation with a guy that was exactly like my father. And I have to kind of elaborate on that if you don't mind.
no, I don't mind. Go ahead.
Since we're talking about family, I may as well put it out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
My father was a hero to many, okay? He just didn't know how to be a dad, all right? He was always angry. He hated the world. He thought that love was trickery. And that was because of what he lived. There was a lot of stuff that went on in that household that, hey, that many kids, you know, living in a little schoolhouse with 11 children and a father that was, whatever. Anyway, okay, there's a lot of stuff there that I won't unleash. That's not my place to speak on that. But my
Understandable.
father believed that love was a trick,
Hmm.
and that anybody that said that he loved that, if you told my dad that you loved him,
Right.
he was right away. Whoa, whoa, no, no. What do you want from me, and what are you trying to do? So it didn't take away his greatness, though. My
Hmm.
dad was a very hard worker, very, very hard. He taught us how to work hard, but he was always the life of the party. And he was always the guy to call if you needed something done.
Okay.
So that kind of explains the kind of man my father was. He didn't back away from anything.
Okay.
He fought everything. But he was the man who, at the end of his life, chose beer instead of love, which he did all of his life. And that was his, okay. But
Okay.
yeah, he was the life of the party. Everybody loved my dad. My dad was, a hero to all, but a horror story to his own kids
Wow.
and his wife. So so I want to make it clear. Like, I just needed to make it clear that, listen, yeah, I'm living a situation that is exactly, yes, this is a replication of my father,
Uh-huh. Okay.
but I'm not being beat. I'm not being, you know what I mean? There's a
No, no, no.
lot
I
of
know
things that
what you.
people are
Yeah.
questioning right now, well, Wendell, that
Yeah.
honestly, I just need to clear up,
No, and
because
I
it's
understand.
fueling a lot of stuff coming my way.
Oh
And
yeah.
people think I'm in some like situation where no, it's just a relationship that doesn't work that I'm getting through. That's
Oh,
it,
yeah.
you know? And yeah, I'm extreme. So it appears maybe more extreme.
Then it actually is. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Oh
yes,
yeah. I
it's hard
totally get
for
it.
me because, yes, this gentleman is an alcoholic. Yes, he's destructive. Yes, but he's a hero to many. And he works hard and he does his thing. But and he believes that love is a trick because of his own scars. So
Right.
I just wanted to put that out there.
No,
And
and I
just because it doesn't work with me, it doesn't mean that he won't work with another woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, absolutely. Well,
so
thanks
how
for.
you doing now? Go, hey, guy, you good? You're good. I'm excited for you. You're going on a new adventure, Wendell.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because like, um, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, whoever's watching, but sometimes when you're going through, um, I don't want to say an extreme change. I mean, yeah, in a sense it is extreme, but when you're going through a change, sometimes there's a little bit of setback at the same time. It's not just all, roses and cherries, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's like, when you're adjusting to a different type of um, career path, I should say.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, all these opportunities are coming at you, it's like, you're working as a regular worker, and then all of a sudden you get, somebody coming at you wanting to give you some kind of a leadership role, and then you start something that you believe you can do by yourself, and then all of a sudden all these other opportunities, somebody wants to offer you an avenue for you to use your skills and sets and help other people out as well as helping yourself, right? But because you don't plan for it, sometimes you end up getting set back. And when I say setback, I mean, like, so for example, um, before, like, for the last 2 months with my job, I was always working, right? So I was busy all the time and I was making money. So I didn't really, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really think of my paying my bills and stuff. And when I say I don't think about paying my bills, doesn't mean I don't want to. But I'm saying is, like, I don't think to pay my bills because the money that I get paid, I just throw it in my account and then I just let my account deal with it, right? But then now, I get into all these opportunities that are coming at me, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this, you matter most. It looks like a really good thing that I could get into. Then they come at me with this opportunity that they want me to do training, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I could see myself doing training. This is a good opportunity I could get myself into. And then all of a sudden, my hours were cut short from what I was doing before, which is why I looked into this avenue. But that time space where you're doing the transition, right? The economy is not
Yeah,
transitioning with you, right?
that's right.
So there's still things that are going through my account, but I'm not
Yeah,
at that moment yet. So it kind of sets, so that's what I mean when I say it kind of sets you back, because you know somebody's normal instinct, excuse me, it would be like, oh my gosh, oh, here I go again with this, oh, so you start becoming like, not negative, but you start worrying because now,
actually, that is very negative. And yes, it's fear.
yeah.
Fear, right away, the fear of not knowing if you'll have what you need, fear of not knowing how it's going to transpire, fear of not knowing, okay, am I going to fail? It's the fear right there that starts giving you, and this is the important, you see how you can identify it? The minute you identify it, that's when you have to say, okay, rewrite that script and say, no, I'm going to be trusting.
Right.
Because the minute that you decide to become trusting instead of fearful, the worry, the judgment, all of that stuff is
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So don't fear a thing. Trust your power, trust your path, and just trust that everything is for learning because you're evolving, eh?
Right. That's exactly it. You know, and
And go ahead, sorry.
it's okay. And like, when you're not used to evolving, you know what I mean? Like, you anticipate it, but you're not used to evolving. It's it comes a little bit harsh to you, you know what I mean? Like, not in a sense that it's gonna knock you down or anything, but it's just such a harsh reality that you have no choice but to, wake up and accept it and just keep going, right?
Yes, yes, but there's a choice in that. And Wendell, how you see it and how you're dealing with it is different than the majority would. Okay? Because in that moment of choice, most are going to run because of the fear. Because remember, the minute fear comes up, it's going to be fight, flight, or freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, the majority of people don't even realize what is actually happening to them. And that right there provokes that limitation and the drawback to the familiar. because
Yeah,
our subconscious brain does things to protect us, right?
that's right.
So that that moment, we can't even anticipate how we will evolve or what the results will be, actually,
Right.
because it's the unknown,
And
right?
that's, yeah, the fear
And
of the
this is where the fear comes into it
yeah.
right away, because it's a threat to us to be out
Yeah.
of our known. And that's why it's so important to stay out of the mind, because the mind, no matter who you are, you're not exempt from it, is a memory bank. So we can't operate from that memory bank, because that memory bank is going to do what it has to do to keep us shackled to that comfort zone, because, hey, that's the easiest thing to do for us.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. You see people say, oh, people can't change, people can't. No, it's called, that shows you how bad their subconscious has control over them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
now, this is why I encourage everybody, and I stress to people about staying out of your head.
Hmm.
And the head is an operating system, and it has so many automatic systems to run for you. Just stay out of there. Any choice that you have to make, stay in your heart space. It's going to speak to you. It'll tell you. Your body is going to tell you. It's just going to feel right or it won't,
Right.
no matter what it is. So all of these things that you're evolving into, and all of these that are, they make you feel good though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Stay there with it. Don't think about it. And
Yeah.
trust that feel good feeling.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about, you know what I mean? Having the trust. The fear comes from here. The
Yeah.
trust is in the heart space.
Yeah.
You know, hold that
Uh-huh.
magic, hold that power, because, yeah, evolving and transforming. Because
Hmm.
when we talk about transforming, all that is getting past your current results.
Okay.
But the word transformation for people is so scary. Oh,
Yeah.
what does that mean? And I don't need to change. And whoa,
Hmm.
whoa, whoa. No, no, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Transformation is simply getting back, pushing past your current results. And that's
Yeah.
what you're doing. So that's where your transformation's coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. It's not destroying you.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what your key was, you see how you said your hours were cut?
Yeah.
That was your sign to now evolve.
Exactly. Hmm.
Things like that happen to us, Wendell, to
Yeah.
make us grow.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because like, when I talk to people about it and they're kind of like, oh, we already knew you were gonna get to that point because, I was always posting stuff about, how I'm liking my job and things are good and that sort of stuff, right? Because me, I'm a strong believer that, you know, and it's funny because I don't want to say a disagreement, but I had a debate with one of my friends about this, and they're like, well, why are you always posting stuff on your wall when there's people out there that are probably not as they're probably not doing as well as you? And I'm like, okay. I said, I'm not posting this stuff to be like, oh, look at me, ha ha ha, too bad for you. It's the total opposite. I'm trying to get people to like, like this, like if I can do it, you can do it. That's the kind
There
of
you
that's
go.
the kind of thing that I'm just trying to show people, right?
And you know
Because
what, Wendell? I'm on the same path, because if I can do it, anybody can.
yeah, because a lot of people don't, they don't. I find that as you get older, you you lose belief in yourself only because of the fact that when you're younger, you have your mom like, hey, good job, like I never had that, but a lot of people have had, they have their mom like, hey, good job, I'm happy for you, I'm proud of you, and then you feel a certain way. Then when you have your cousins and your aunts and your grandmother and your grandfather and everybody as a team are saying, oh, keep going, we're so good for you, then you're like, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, my whole family's behind me. Wow. So now you start developing this this drive to keep going, right? But I find for me personally, it's I'm more driven, and maybe you could relate to this as being an empath, but I'm more driven by when I see somebody else get there. I'm like, wow, like they're motivating me indirectly, because I already know like I'm going where I'm going. I already know that because I'm doing everything that I have to do to get there. I'm not taking it for granted, or I'm not, sitting down and waiting for the energy to hand it to me. Like a lot of people think that, because of what they've been through as a child or younger, that it's owed to them by the energies.
Exactly, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
So
And everything that we live, believe it or not, before we come and take on our life experience, we agree to it.
yeah,
That's our soul contract.
yeah,
We know exactly every scar we're going to carry in our lifetime. We know exactly every interaction that we are going to have. We know exactly why we are coming here before we even get pushed out of our mothers.
yeah, it's true. You know,
Okay? And we have soul contracts with other people, our families, our friends, we more so than people realize. And why we're tied to people in such deep levels is our soul contracts for change.
yeah,
Just like I am fully aware of the soul contract that I have with this soul for to induce the change that I have.
yeah,
You see? And to learn how to love unconditionally, even if it was hard and, yeah, okay, it was an experience. Oh, but that was all contracted in my life experience, or I never would be given it.
yeah.
You got to accept your life experience, or you are not given it.
That's true. That's
You
true.
don't come here on a whim. Life is not happening to us. This is all meant to be.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, Wendell, had I not been living what I'd been living, I never would have contacted with you. He's the one that fueled that. I never would have written my last 3 books. I never would be able to sit here and do what I'm doing today because I had to learn.
yeah. Everything
And that's
happens.
why I needed to express to everybody this morning, hey, don't think I'm in such some strangle. Like, I talk about it like that because that's how I feel about it.
That's right.
Okay. It doesn't mean that I'm in some harsh physical situation.
Yeah.
No, because I'm sorry. If that was the case, I would have kicked his ass a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I know who I am. You know what
With
I'm
steel,
saying?
with steel toe boots too.
Well, yeah, I guess like people don't like my analogies, eh?
Well, it's funny because I can relate to this because I go through the same thing. It's like I'll talk to certain people and I'll say things in a certain way, and then they're like, "Why do you have to say it like that?" And they get so
Party,
intensely sensitive. And it's like, "What? I'm
offended,
just talking normal, like. So to us,
offended.
yeah, exactly. So to us, it seems like, oh, we're just having a regular talk, where everybody else is like, "Oh my gosh, like why are they so rough, or why are they so harsh, or whatever," right? But so I can relate to what you I can relate to that for sure, for sure.
I think yesterday's live got muted in 72 territories, eh?
What?
Yeah, I can't download it and I can't upload it to YouTube. That shit got barred. That's why I'm trying to be a little calmer this morning.
Oh
They said, you
wait,
know
oh
what,
wait,
Toby,
wait.
the world's not ready for your steel toe boot talk.
Wow. So seriously, it got mute, but I thought it only gets muted because of music or something.
No, they said it's copyright infringements and something else. I don't know, but there's no copyright infringements. I guess swearing is copyright infringements. you know, hey.
Oh my gosh. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like, hey, you see, this is it. People are too quick to be offended nowadays.
Wow.
But that's okay. Let them be offended. That's not my problem. That's not your problem. We're evolving and having a great time doing it. What do I like to say? Bring it on. Bring it on. No problem.
Yeah. So
So we
this
were going
is
to talk this morning. That we were going to mention some red flags to people, eh?
yes. I was just about to say
Things
that. I
to
was like,
look out for. But you see, I think they all assumed that it was going to be a relationship. But I'd like to drop it on just things that you need to look out for in people in general.
absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah,
You
so
know,
red flags. There's quite a few of them actually, you know. I think that one of the main ones that people should be concerned about is, you know, people who are people who come across as fake, you know, because I find that a lot of people get like um, tricked into to being involved with somebody who's very manipulative, very out for themselves, you know, um, trying to take advantage of every situation that comes to them, you know. And usually these type of people are always the ones that are always smiling. You know, you think like they give the impression that, oh, this is a good soul, and oh, he's always smiling, he's always happy. Oh yeah, this should be a good person. I can trust this person. And then you go and you trust them until they give you a reason not to trust them, right? So I would say the first red flag I would put up there is just the presentation of someone as they're smiling, you know, because there's two smiles that you could see, right? Like, and this is how the devil works, you know, or evil works, you know. It's that smile that, you know, you can tell that, oh, okay, this is a genuine person and he's got a good heart and he's got good intention. And then there's the smile that, I don't know, there's something about this guy, you know. That's the deceptive smile, right? So it's as if people could kind of decipher the two, like to find the difference between the two, because sometimes it is hard. Like me personally, I can't say I've mastered it yet, because I mean, when women smile, it's different from how men smile. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, you know.
Oh,
So
for sure, because
yeah.
women and men's brains are programmed completely different. Completely different.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's red flag number one.
Red flag number one.
All right, so you know what? I got a huge red flag number two,
Okay.
and that is when you greet somebody. When you greet somebody in a loving way or with a smile, do they smile back? Period. If we want to talk about smiling,
Okay.
then instantly when you ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? And just listen to what they respond.
That's true.
All right? Right away,
I would
right
agree.
out of the gates. Okay?
Yeah.
Listen to what people are telling you
Yeah.
because that's a huge problem. We don't
Oh, yeah.
listen.
Well, I mean, I do, not to say that I'm the only one that does it, but I do because of the fact of, based on my experience, you know, that I've come to the conclusion that, you know, just like you said, you know, when people talk, some people will say things to lead you a certain way. They're not gonna say things because of what they're actually of who they actually are, especially right off the hop, you know. And this is one thing that I don't really understand about human beings in general. Because me personally, when I'm meeting somebody for the first time, I like them to know that I'm real, right? So I'm gonna be honest with them. I'm gonna be straight up with them, whether they're gonna like it or not. I'd rather them not like an honest version of me than to like a fake version of me, if that makes any sense, right?
Oh, huge, huge,
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
like that. I am, hey, this is who I am. And if you don't like it, turn around and walk away because I'm not changing for nobody. And I'm
yeah,
definitely not smothering my air by wearing a mask.
yeah,
Sorry.
yep. And that's
So,
and that brings us to the third flag, which is, you know, where people um try to convert the other person into something that they're liking, right? So they have this way of asking you a question, and then you answer the question, and then they say they don't understand, and then you re-explain the question in a different way, and they take that different way as that's how you are. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
but now you have to understand whether this person is emotionally intelligent or not.
Yeah.
Wendell, do you know about emotional intelligence?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, you know, it's like this. I find that as human beings, we've been brainwashed to have that mentality of, you know, we're gonna be who we are. Who cares what everybody else thinks, right? But at the same token, when you're talking to somebody and somebody responds to you, and you're noticing there's some kind of, I don't know, some people don't take that second to think that, oh, you know what, maybe I should be a little bit more careful as to how I'm saying things back to this person because they might take it a certain way. I used to be like that. And that's how I
Yeah.
figured it out, Like I would talk to people and I'd be like straight up and direct, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I'm offended," and they start crying, and I'm just like, "Why are you so offended?" Like it. Well, just because it doesn't offend you doesn't mean that it's not going to offend me. But I'm like, okay, but I'm just talking like very calmly, normally. Yeah, it's just the way you word things. I'm like, okay. And then I started thinking, and I said, so yeah, I'm not going to change my whole entire structure just for the convenience of one person. However, I do realize that sometimes I do say things from the heart, obviously, but when you're even though you're coming from the heart, like people can accept real talk, but they can't accept it if it's going to offend them. So you kind of have
But
to.
hurtful talk is meant to bend people.
That's true. That's true. But they don't see it that way. They just
No,
see it as,
no.
oh, you're
They think you're
insulting,
attacking them. They
ended,
think you're
yeah,
attacking them,
exactly.
and they're going to
Exactly.
retaliate to that.
Exactly. You know, there was just an incident just lately there. I was talking to one of my friends there, and, you know, um, I was talking about, um, like women, right? Like, how you women go through your thing, right? So I noticed there was a change in her behavior and the way she was talking, and so I asked her and I said, um, like, I don't mean to be and I stressed. I said, I don't mean to be personal or anything, but like, is your thingy coming soon or something? Because I noticed a change in your app. Oh my God. And that was it.
And you
Like,
were just trying to be
I
supporting.
was I was just trying to be I was just trying to be what's the word I'm looking for? I was just trying to be like caring to her feelings, like being
Trying to be understanding and
trying to be
empathetic, going, okay,
understanding.
shit, all right. So hormonally, it's your time of the month coming, and
Exactly.
you're right off the charts. And how can I help you with that?
Exactly. So when I notice that, because I know that I'm a very direct person, I'm a very straight up. Sometimes I'll say things from the heart because I don't think about it, but and it might hurt somebody, right? But if you're in a state, I'll know, okay, well, you're in that state, so now I'm gonna watch what I say. And that was the whole reason why I was asking that question.
Okay, I don't want you to ever watch what you say, because when you're watching what you say, you're coming from a place of thought. Don't do that to yourself or anybody around you, because then you're wearing that mask. You come from your place of heart all the time, Wendell. Tell people what you feel because that's what's right. And people like myself, nobody likes to hear what I have to say any day of the week. But I say what they need to hear. And I will not excuse how somebody else takes that. That's not my problem. My problem is the mission that I have here on this earth. And that's to be the disruptor of all of these destructive ways.
Oh boy.
It is, right? So stay in your heart space when you're talking to people. And I encourage you to do that, Wendell.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's
matter how you rock somebody else's world. That's what you're meant to do.
right. But it's easier said than done, right? So I mean, but I
Oh,
hear what
no.
you're saying
Once you
though.
get
I
a
hear what
grip
you're
on
saying.
this, my friend, it gets easier and easier every day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. But you have to honor your greatest power. And your greatest power is the infinite unconditional love that you are sourced by. And that was what you have to be true to first. And if you're not, you're working against yourself. So that's why I encourage you always to stay in your heart space.
Okay. Got it.
Doesn't matter how another one takes it. It matters how you feel about it, not think about it. It matters how you feel about it.
Okay. Um, Good point. So I think another red flag is, you know, there's a lot of people that are, um, chilling in the past, right? They like to, you know, keep going back, going back, going back, going back.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I get it, like most of it, the majority of us are built from it, right? But they don't need they can't wrap their head around the fact that that's the only purpose of that. There's no, like, if the past was meant to be brought with us every single time, then it wouldn't be called the past, it would have been called the present, right?
Exactly.
Or the present backpack, or the present suitcase, or whatever, like, hey, like, let me dip into my present suitcase and see what I can dig up from the past that's going to help me now to help me
You know
move
what's
forward.
crazy about the past? You know
Yeah.
what's crazy about the past?
It's crazy about the past.
It only exists in our own mind. Nowhere
Mm,
else. Nowhere else. And we decide to keep bringing that shit forward and
mm,
spitting it out and reliving it and recreating it. And it only exists in our own fucking brains.
mm. That's funny. That's funny. Because it is true. Like, the only thing that we actually have control over is just today, tomorrow, and maybe a couple days ahead, depending on what life throws at us. But we have no control over what's already done. It's true, though.
Exactly. That's why I let it go. But that's why I encourage people, because as long as you're going like this, you're not going forward. You can't do both at the same time. You don't have two heads,
Yep.
you
Yeah, I
know?
remember
So
I mentioned
it's,
that in our
yeah,
last.
what?
I said I mentioned that in one of our videos about looking backwards. Yeah, I think it was the last one or the one before. But
So the next red flag you're saying is basically to watch whether somebody's living in the past or not.
correct,
Okay.
correct. Because, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've been in a few relationships where, you know you want to get to know what that person is about, so you just kind of tap into it a little bit. But sometimes they just take it too far, and then it gets to an emotional thing, and then you start realizing, oh my gosh, like, this person's been through some. Like, what was I thinking? Like, how did I not see that? But of course, you're not going to see it because people cover it very well, right? Like,
Yes,
they
but we attract people into our lives for our learning. So there's
and I think
something you're supposed to, so everything you're living with these people, you are learning about yourself and learning
that's
about
true.
others.
That
So
is
it's
true.
all meant to happen.
That is true. But I think me and you are similar in one sense where, we seem to have, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the vibe that I'm getting from what you're going through, and how I am, is that we have a tendency of, being drawn to people who are not necessarily struggling, but they have they have good intentions, but they just don't know how to put it in place, right? So whatever those intentions are that they want to put in place, there's always some kind of damage, I guess, like
And guess
that
what? You're right. You're
that
right. And
obstructs
you know
them.
why I'm right? You're right. I'll tell you why you're right. Because I know that my soul mission being an empath and a light worker and a way shower, because I show the way to people, guess what? I attract the most damaged on this planet every single day. Why? Because my soul leads the way and I'm put in the paths of people, situations, circumstances that I need to disrupt and bring a new way of thinking. And
Yeah,
that's what you do too. So this
yeah.
is why I call myself a disruptor. Because I will shift those belief systems. And guess
Just like,
what? I'm like a magnet for that stuff. I'm a
I can
magnet.
see that.
If
Oh
you
yeah, I
see
can
me
see
in a
that.
crowd of people, literally, even listen, people say it all the time. You're like a magnet, Toby. People are drawn to you. And
Yeah,
people have said it to me, Toby, I feel like I'm drawn to you. I don't know what it is. And I said, well,
I,
I guess you got a lot of healing.
yeah,
That because I know my mission here.
yeah. I have.
So yeah, we
I've
attract
definitely.
the most damage, Wendell.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and it's funny because, excuse me, the last time we talked, and I get this impression of you that, you know I'll be like walking through the park or something or whatever, just kind of walking somewhere, and all of a sudden I hear, like, there'll be a little earthquake, and they'll be like, "Oh, Toby's up to something." Toby's
You
up to
you
something.
you want to laugh? You want to laugh? I have stopped the rain in front of people's eyes, and they don't believe it.
Really?
Yeah,
Stop.
I have stopped the rain.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay? You know why? Because we are connected to everything. And when you are tapped into your truest power and you have the universe backing you, holy cow, it hears your every wish,
Okay.
every wish. And it's always working for you, not against you. And that's why I never wish anybody bad. That's one of my biggest laws of my life. No matter what is inflicted on me, I will not wish somebody bad. Never. And I will not speak bad about it. I will not do that. You know why? Because
Awesome.
the universe hears me.
Oh yeah.
And the last time I wished for the universe to rectify a situation for me, well, the guy ended up with a plate in his arm with 9 bolts, and I had nothing to do with it.
Wow.
I had nothing to do with it.
Wow. Bolts,
So
eh?
I don't wish anybody bad. If
Jeez.
somebody pushes me to that point, the only thing I ask is I say, universe, I wish for them to rightfully receive what they deserve. That's all. Because that's not of my making. That's of theirs. So, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we're going to attract all these damaged people. It's normal. It's
Yeah,
normal
you too.
because
No, it's
we're evolving and we're
yeah.
learning how to be better people on the planet. So
And people under
obviously, we're going to attract all of the damaged souls that need help along the way too, because hey, well, listen, if we both look back at our past, that's not sugar and cream. But we sit today and we evolve and we push forward and we do better.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. But yeah, because I think like everybody's like talking about, oh, look at the world today, and I'm like, okay, but listen, like let's look at the reality of it, right? Like you don't see, or at least you don't hear about, people that are actually out there doing good things, or like taking people out of their darkness and into the light. You don't hear about these things. All you hear about is the opposite. Like
Yes.
people that are just walking down the street, and all of a sudden rockets are flying over their head, building blows up, and then they get freaking
It's to
killed by.
keep us fearful. As long as humans are fearful, their response is going to be a fearful response. So, how can one have greatness of any kind in their life if they are living in fear? They
Yeah,
can't. So, this is the systematic things that are holding us to fear.
yeah,
Religion holds us to fear. Society holds us to fear. Laws hold us to fear. Our own family holds us to fear.
oh yeah,
Hello. You
yeah,
got to remove the fear from the world, or this is how we stay shackled. But people
exactly.
don't understand that.
Yeah,
They
they
don't
don't.
understand that every time they turn on the TV, yes, it's to invoke you to eat fast food and be fearful.
Yeah.
Simple.
So
That's all you're getting off your TV unless you have it on something that is beneficial to you.
absolutely. So
You know what I'm
another.
saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
and you got to
I
be real with that. And this is why there's so many people that are against the laws and against all of this stuff, because it's to keep you fearful. And that's why there's an uprise, and that's why things have to change. And that, because people that are getting more and more enlightened and in tune realize, hey, I've been shackled to fear by another man. And that's been programmed into us for generations. That's why we're going to disrupt that, Wendell. That's why I
nice.
say get the fear out and trust. Always be in a trusting state. Trust your power, trust your heart.
Yeah, yeah. So another red flag that I'm thinking of also is, when you deal with somebody that they have an answer for everything. Like they not that they know everything, but they have an answer for everything. So for me personally, when I'm talking to somebody and I'm saying something and they have an answer for every single thing that I say, I take that to mean that there's some kind of an insecurity in there, right? Like they feel like they always have to answer, not to top you, but to kind of show that, play this role that, oh, they're on the same page as you. It's kind of like it's almost like masking, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't know because I've got an answer for everything. And that's
That is
guaranteed.
that is true. But I mean, like when I
But I
say
own that about myself. I own that about myself. And that's why I watch the conversations that I do have. And I watch the interactions because there's a lot of people that can't handle what I say.
right, right,
You know what I mean? Like they can't. They really can't.
yeah,
But yeah,
and
that's a red flag for a lot of people. Yeah, for sure. When they don't allow you to speak.
well, it's not really the point of not letting the other person speak, but it's more so like, so for
Over
example,
speaking them.
it's like I know what I'm talking about, and then that person is telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and then they over express what we're talking about to kind of give me the imagination or the thought that maybe this person does know more than me. That's what I'm talking about.
I hope you're not feeling that way with me, Wendell.
Oh, no, no. No, no, no. I trust me. If I felt that way about you, I would have said it because I'm just like you. I'm straight up and direct, and
I love our conversations. I
yeah,
really do. I
yeah.
really do.
Because you see, the thing too is that, and I noticed this not only with, and my friends would be like, "Why do you talk to people like that?" And it's like sometimes you have to talk to people in a certain way to learn about yourself, right? Like, you say certain things and the way they reply back to you, you can be like, oh, okay, I can see this. She's this type of person or that type of person, right? It's like a self-awareness almost, you know. So,
Yeah, and you've helped me become very self-aware.
oh,
Seriously. Seriously, like I'm evolving and I feel energies. And yes, I'm tapped into but yes, you're part of my journey here and for learning. And you're teaching me how to become a better person because speaking with you, like you were saying about your training,
right,
it's the repetition of
right,
the thought processes
right.
that creates the installation of it, right?
That's right.
So coming out here and talking to you and being able to speak freely the way I do without judgment is installing certain things and correcting things in the belief system of my brain and memories that are not so healthy,
Good. I'm glad to.
you know?
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that because this is what it's about with me, right? Like this is why I do the coaching. This is why, there's not everybody, you're not going to be able to help everybody. Like I've already accepted that truth. Even though deep down in your heart you want to help the world, right? But
Yes.
reality is you're not going to be able to help everybody because some people might take things a certain way. Not everybody's receptive to you. You know, some people, like you said earlier, like the truth hurts to them. Some people just can't handle the truth, and that's just the way it is. Like we're human beings. We're all built differently. So I think that if we were all built the same, everybody would be in such a great state right now because all it just takes is that one person to start that wave, right? It's like a ripple effect.
Of
You
course.
you you show somebody something, you believe in them, you tell them, hey, as long as you believe in yourself, I believe in you, right? And if we both believe in you, then there's no doubt that you're going to move an inch forward, right? And when they do it and they see that movement, that inch forward, they get all into it. It's like, oh wow, this is nice. Oh, I actually move forward. It's like, wait, wait, wait. Like, don't celebrate now. Continue, right? Like, just
Yes.
keep going.
Yes.
That's one of the main things that I think as a human being we struggle with is that I see it all the time. My friends, they post something and then, 1 minute they're like, oh wow, this happened. I'm so happy, da da da. Then 2 days later, it's like, oh my God, life hates me. This happened, and it's like why do you keep going up and down, up and down, up and down? And then I put one and one together, and it's like people have this tendency of getting to a certain point, and then when they get to that point, they're like, oh, okay, wow, all right, I'm done,
You know
but keep
why?
going.
You know why? I explained it a couple of days ago. When we put an expectation to anything, the satisfaction never equals the expectation, ever. So what happens to people is when they achieve certain things, they expect it to feel more than it does. So half the time when people have reached that certain level, they become stagnant because they've realized that it isn't making them feel the way that they thought it would. And they're confused by it because they assumed that that was going to give them what they wanted and needed, right? So they strived and they
Right.
focused and they set their goals and they got it. But then they get it, no matter what it is. And they're not content as they thought they were going to be or as they expected themselves to be,
Right.
which throws themselves completely off. But that has to happen too to make people stop looking outside, to make them look inward.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly what you're
Like,
talking about.
and it's all about evolving and growing. So anybody who stays stuck with an accomplishment or whatever, and they get there and they're like, oh, okay, whatever, and they don't do the what's next, that's the problem. Because there's always a next step.
Yeah.
And the battle starts inside of ourselves when we refuse to take the next step because we're fearful. You don't
Hmm.
know. Oh, no, 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 no. Keep going, keep pushing, keep evolving, keep growing, keep
Right.
transforming.
Right.
Okay, Wendell, we put out a couple of red flags today. It was great.
Sweet.
How much time we got? I know that we've probably been talking it. I didn't realize yesterday we stayed on for almost an hour and a half.
Peace. Yesterday was kind of crazy, actually, and it's funny because, I mean, I'm a very organized person, right? So I'm always about like, you know, I don't want to say I'm always about, but when it comes to like work and stuff, I'm like time, 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 right? But like, I don't know. It's like when we were the way we were talking yesterday was just kind of like it was like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and I think we just kind of got lost into what like the factors that were mentioned in that conversation because yesterday was a good topic. I find yesterday was a very good topic, so that's why.
Every day is a great topic
No,
talking to you,
every day
Wendell.
is. No, you're right.
Every day for me is
Every
a
day
great
is a
day.
great topic, but and I noticed this. Me personally, even when I'm talking with other people, it's like sometimes there's a certain topic that you come across, and then it opens up this other
Yes.
flower, and then you just like, oh, well, and then you start touching onto that, then that's how you end up realizing, oh my gosh, like we've been talking about over an hour now, right? But yeah, yesterday was a very good. I mean, like you said, every single conversation we have on here, it's very very mighty, like very positive, like, and it's funny because the first thing I thought when we started this thing, I was just like, I don't know this person. What if we ever get into a situation where we're like butting heads like live, And then I'm like, how am I gonna take
If
that?
that
Because
happens, we'll go close to the screen like this. Okay, there we go.
people be like, what the heck's going on over there? They putting their forehead. Oh, I get what they're doing now. Okay, they're butting heads. Yeah, yeah. But but I can see it in a sense that it wouldn't get to a point where it'll be like on a negative note, right? Because
Never.
especially now that we're working together, right? So it's like, yeah, and it's funny because again, like I'm not really that receptive to people that are just like coming at me like that I don't know anything about, but for some strange reason, like our connection was just, you know, it was just like wonderful, and it's nice,
And it
It's like,
will remain as such too, because you know what?
absolutely,
I really appreciate you.
yeah,
And I
absolutely,
don't talk to many people
right,
because people can't take what I have to say. But
yeah,
you and I seem to have great communication, and I love it. I actually love our conversations.
yeah,
Yesterday really helped me evolve out of my funk. And You're a great guy. Like, I really, we are a lot like-minded. You've shown me a lot of things. Hopefully, I've shown you a lot of things, and that's what it's about. Because together, yeah, we're moving forward,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah,
And it's a great relationship to have because this friendship is going to flourish into a great partnership that's going to fill our accounts later on in life
yeah,
because of what we're pushing towards for our website and things like that, you know? And
absolutely.
we will help infuse change. And like it's just in the building stage,
Yeah,
but it's like a harvest. We're planting the seeds
yeah,
so we can harvest it soon enough.
absolutely.
And it's
Yeah,
going to be great. And
yeah.
everything that you're learning now, you're going to teach me in one way or another. And everything I'm learning now, I'm going to show you too. So it's a hand in hand. Everything's transactional.
Oh yeah. And this was the funniest thing too, because like when I was when I was doing the coaching and I was working in the field and stuff, and these guys were coming, these guys were coming to like these new people were coming to work, and I was the foreman, so I was watching all these new people come in, and I'm looking at them doing their job, and I'm like, how do you not know to do the basic stuff? So then I started inquiring, and it wasn't just one person, like this was like groups of people. So I called head office, and I was like, what's going on with the training? Because like, there's some people here that don't know what they're doing, and I don't understand why they're here. He's like, oh well, if you think that you can do better, kind of thing, like that's the way they came across. Well, if you think you could do better, and I was just like, well, I said, if that option is there, I would prefer to do that than to do this, because it's easier for me because it's like second nature. I know what I'm doing, and I can actually
Hey, Big Ed,
explain it in
stop this.
probably a better way than these other people that are explaining it, because they're not getting they're not making the foreman money, so they're just doing a half-assed job with the training. Is the way I see it. But based on the two people that I've watched yesterday, like there's this one woman, and she is like, she's a monster. Like she just, she'll go, and then when when there's someone in the class that's not paying attention, she'd be like, hey, hey, hey. She goes, is there something that you're not interested in? Because if you're not, you're wasting my time. Like, and you're wasting other people's time. Like, you want to leave the class? And I'm like, I was watching. I'm like, and then she came to me on the sidebar, after she gave them breaks and stuff, and she's like, "This is how you have to be with these people." She goes, "I know you're a good guy and you know your stuff and you like to be kind and everything, but sometimes you got to be a monster." And I'm like, "I see it, because I never really was able to wrap my head around like, okay, so why am I going to be so offensive to somebody if they're new to the company and they want to learn stuff, right? But at the same token, that's our money, right? So we got to make sure that this person knows what they're doing. And if they
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing, or they don't want to know what they're doing, then there's better that they just go somewhere else, right? Take it
Yeah,
somewhere else.
that's right. Checking people's intentions. If
Yeah,
you're there on a serious training program for safety and security, and
yeah,
somebody's dicking around, hey, that means that on the floor, you're going to put everybody at risk.
that's right.
And people see it as, oh, they're just trying to be a pushover. No, there are billions of dollars and
Oh yeah,
thousands of lives at stake.
yeah,
And if you can't take that seriously, you cannot be a part of that.
exactly.
And you're learning all of that and you're seeing what
Yeah,
the possibilities is because while you're in that position,
mm-hmm.
hey, you see another peer as your peer. You don't
Yeah,
see him as somebody going, hey, you're reckless and you shouldn't be here.
right.
But now, after this, I bet you're going to reassess even the people that you
Oh
work
yeah,
with.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
But this
absolutely.
is tools,
Exactly.
assessment tools for you.
That's exactly how I'm taking it. Yep, absolutely.
And look at all your life coaching and everything also too.
Oh
So
yeah.
you are able to look at it all, assess it all, check the risk factors because that's
Yep,
what you're also being
yep,
enhanced to, right?
right.
Assess the risk. Well, people are just as much of a risk as any faulty equipment or pressure or anything else. People are what put everything at risk the most.
Hazard assessment. And it's funny because that could be applied to
Everything.
everything.
everything across the board. And that's why it's so important that you did this training and you evolved and you do what you're doing, because these are trainings that I'm not taking. But
Yeah.
because we're in a team situation, you're going to teach me those.
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
will.
not above learning. I learn every day and I seek learning. You see, when nobody sees me online all day, I'm learning. I'm trying to bang out my NLP certification on my own. I'm back in it. Like yesterday afternoon, back in it. That's it.
Nice.
I'm going to finish this off. I've got things I've got to finish or I'm to evolve.
That's
And
awesome.
your motivation for me because I see you doing it.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. You'll get her done. You'll get her done, Toby.
Yeah, just like you'll get her done. And we're going to get this stuff rolling and great. Hey, it's already great. I thank you. I thank you, Wendell. I thank you.
Well, thank you for bringing me into it. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to get it to start rolling as well.
And
So yeah.
listen, another note too, like I mentioned, I told you about my cousin Carmen and her
Yep.
comments yesterday on the live. Reach out to her if you want.
Okay.
Reach out to her. She'll talk to you. Of course, she knows who you are. She knows you're talking to her cousin. Hey, and she has a lot of wisdom, a
Cool.
lot of wisdom. And
All right.
she's
That'll be fun.
transformed and she's enlightened and she's, come on. You know what I mean? Feel free to
Yeah.
do that.
Okay. We'll
It's
do.
it's a
Like.
loving source that can help you,
Okay. All right. We'll definitely do that.
you know? And
Okay.
what time are we at? We're gonna wrap up. Well, how long we been chit-chatting
Yeah.
here this
I,
morning?
we're gonna have to wrap it up. Yeah. We've been chatting for about I want to say an hour and 15 minutes.
Already, I guess we're gonna have to put that timer on, eh, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta work on that time management.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna let you have the floor to wrap up with people for 5 minutes before I wrap up. But
Yeah.
I want to tell you that I really thank you. I appreciate you, and I send you all
You're
kinds of
welcome.
love, Wendell. You are, honestly, I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. That makes me feel very good knowing that I'm able to do that for you. So you're welcome. You're most welcome. So just to close off, I think that you know I hope what everybody takes from this is that we do have decisions to make. Sometimes they're not easy decisions. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes we think that they're hard decisions, but in reality they're just simple decisions. So um, I think that it's if we can just look at the situation piece by piece and follow what your feeling is, and if you know what's good for you, then it'll help you make that decision a lot easier. Yes, people are going to come to you with red flags. Look at these red flags as not things that you can change, because red flags you can't change with people. These red flags are called red flags for a reason. When they come at you with these red flags, you have to stop and process these red flags before you go proceed any further. Because what ends up happening is the majority of the people who are in um, unhealthy relationships is because of the fact that these red flags were hidden and you never really looked for them, or you didn't see them as red flags. So know what your limitation is, not in a sense of limiting yourself, but as to what you are going to accept from somebody else, because you can't take on everybody else's garbage and expect to still be healthy, because when you eat garbage you end up being garbage. That's basically what it's all about. So moving forward, there is no reason for you to accept somebody who's going to make you feel bad. There is no reason for you to accept somebody who's going to verbally abuse you. There's no reason for you to accept somebody that's going to make you feel smaller or less than you are. You dig deep down in your heart and you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you believe in. Whoever is going to be interested in you are going to support your beliefs, not throw them away. So, moving forward, when you're looking for somebody and you want to find that perfect partner, of course, there's not going to be a perfect partner, but there's got to be some kind of perfect harmony that you're able to deal with. And if you can find that, all power to you. And if you can't find that, well, then there's still some healing that you need to do within yourself, and there's still a little bit more learning about yourself and other people that you need to focus on. Once you do that, then you can move forward. And that's when you're going to start feeling better about yourself. That's when you're going to start valuing the partner that you choose to be with. And now you're going to look at that person a little bit more seriously and more deeply. And once you notice that, oh, there's no red flags here, now I can proceed. So that's the best thing that I could tell all of you out there. So I really hope that you guys take this and really get it embedded in here, so that when you move forward and you start seeing people, you're going to start understanding what the red flags are. You're going to start understanding what your worth is. You're going to understand what your value is to someone else, and how someone else can value you too, because you're not going to be in a relationship with someone who's going to knock you down or take away from your value or make you feel any less of a person than you actually are. It should be the total opposite. So
Big head, stop.
do not put yourself in a position where you're going to be with somebody who's going to do that to you. So that's my message to everybody out there. So thanks for joining. And once again, you know, we're always here to open up on anything that you guys want to talk about. You know, send us some messages or whatever. Let us know what you want us to discuss. You know, man versus woman, life, whatever. We're all about that. So that's what matters most is you. So let's take it to another level and keep it going.
All
And
right.
that's it.
So I guess we'll wrap it up this morning. Wendell, you're amazing. Have a great day. I wish you
You
love
too.
and light, my brother. To everybody else
Bye.
watching, I wish you all an amazing day. Own your power. Push back. Push past any limitation you may have in your life. It's time to get creative. Anytime you see something limiting you, push past it. Get creative. Anytime you see an obstacle in your life, it's time to grow. It's time to learn. Any obstacle is an opportunity to evolve. No matter how it presents itself, you can get through it. You're tapped and fueled into an infinite, unconditional love and the power of the all-knowing. All of your answers lie there. You got to humble your head, quiet your mind, stay in your heart space. Okay? You've got another day to get it right. Okay? Be loving in everything that you say and do. All right? Believe in yourself, because that's all you need to believe in. Okay? You have everything that you need inside of yourself, primarily. I wish you all a great day. Okay? Own your greatness and own the greatness of your creative power to have an amazing day. Okay? I love you all. All right? Wendell, love and light, my brother.
Love and light, my sister. Yeah,
And
peace
we
out.
will chat. So what are we? We'll be back Monday.
We'll be back Monday.
All right. Have a great weekend. And
Yeah,
if
you
you
too.
want to reach out, I'm here. And if not,
Okay.
I'll see you Monday.
All right, we'll do.
Get the most out of it because you
Yes.
matter the most.
You matter the most.
All right. Love and light, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Have a great weekend. Be
Great
safe.
weekend,
Be
guys.
loving. Peace.
Peace.